What up, dogs? Welcome back to Rad Resells. I'm Natalie, and I am a full-time reseller, meaning I go to all kinds of thrifting stores, yard sales, garage sales, estate sales, you name it, and I flip items online for a profit. In this video, I am going to go over all the pros and the cons about being a full-time reseller. And if this is the type of content that you're interested in watching, go ahead, click the like and subscribe. You guys know the deal. And we'll just get into the video. Alrighty, so I have made a list of pros and cons about being a full-time reseller. I started out as a part-time reseller and I still had my 9 to 5 regular job on the side. Well, as my main and then part-time reselling on the side. And I recently, like a few months ago, went into being a full-time reseller. Yeah, let's just get into pros and cons. So the first that I want to mention is obviously a pro. It is being your own boss. And although it could sound cliche, like, oh, my own boss, it is just the most amazing feeling not having someone above you that can tell you what to do and what not to do and kind of dictate how you can be in your workplace, if that makes sense. Like, there is no one to tell you, no, you can't take a sick day, or you have to ask someone to take a vacation or take a day off, or, there's no telling people, I'm sorry, I'm running late. No, there's no such thing. You are making your own schedule, which is another pro, making your own schedule. And if you don't feel like working one day, you don't have to. And you don't have to ask anyone. You can ask yourself, you want to take a day off? Yeah. Okay, cool. And that's it. And I just love that part of freedom, I guess you could say, which I guess would be another pro. Just freedom to do whatever you want to do with that time. However, obviously, as a full-time reseller, it's actually a lot of work to be able to make a full-time income, that is. If you're just looking for a few bucks, you don't have to put in a lot of work. But if you want to make a full-time income, there's a lot of work. I definitely put in just as many hours as my 9 to 5 job. And although it isn't rocket science, anything like that, it takes a lot of work, and you gotta have a really high work ethic and discipline, because one of the cons that I'm gonna get into now is just it's so easy to get lazy. And if you don't have that discipline and that work ethic, it could be very easy to go down the road of just not working because you don't have a boss tell you gotta work, And if you don't work, you're also not going to make money. So that is a reason that I want to say that being a reseller, although it's great in so many ways, it's not for everyone. If you struggle with being disciplined, and that's okay, it's probably not for you, because you have to be disciplined. And one recommendation that I have is making a schedule. Even though you make your own schedule, you got to have a plan for each day. So you can tweak that plan however you want. If something comes up, you can just tweak it, right? Which is the power of making your own schedule. But basically have a plan of what you want to do and what you want to accomplish every day, so that you don't go down the drain of just being lazy and not working. Because there is a correlation between how much you work and how much you get at the end of it in terms of money. Another con is, just like any salesperson who works on 100% commission, is that it's an unsteady flow of income. You never know what you're going to make. You never know if you're going to have a day full of sales or a day full of nada. And you don't have a guaranteed salary each month. Like I had on my 9 to 5 job, it was actually half fixed and half commission, which I actually liked. But with reselling, it's 100% commission. So it's just like a car salesperson. You don't know what you're going to make, and you take the chance of working on commission only, and you have high season and low season. It's just the same with reselling, high days and low days. And that's the risk that you take being just a salesperson in general. And a reseller is basically a salesperson. If you think about it, I never thought I would be a salesperson. Oh. Here I am being a reseller. Anyways, Another, I don't know if I was going to put this in pro or con because it is different depending on who you are. For some people, it's a pro, like me. And for some people, it's a con. And it just comes down to like who you are. And that is a lot of alone time. You are going to spend a lot of time being by yourself because you're not walking into an office with people. You don't interact with people on a day-to-day basis. You interact with yourself. You will talk to yourself, and that's okay. No. And basically the clerks at the thrift stores, if you go thrifting, that's the people you talk to. And that's it. So you got to be okay with being alone a lot of the time and just working by yourself. That is how I work the best, in an isolated, quiet place. So for me, it's kind of perfect. Another pro, I keep going back like, oh, we got some pro here and some con here. And it's just random what I say. I have a list of what I want to say today. So it's kind of mix and match of pros and cons here. Another pro is time. And time to me is honestly one of the most valuable things that I can even think of. I feel like a lot of people devalue time and how important time actually is. And I don't want to be like cliche, you don't know how long you have, you know, but truly though, we don't. And you never know what's going to happen. And time is something that money can't buy in terms of we all have the same amount of time. But with being a reseller, you have the choice of creating your own schedule and then making time in a day where others can't because they're stuck in their 9-to-5 job, where you can take time and just take a lunch with someone at a random hour. Like, oh, let's go at 2:30 p.m. And oh my gosh, 2 hours lunch? That's okay. That's okay because I don't have to be in, you know? And just having that extra time to like spontaneously going somewhere without having to tell anyone, because you are your own boss and it's that freedom. And whenever someone else wants to do something, you can take that time, be like, yeah, I can do that too. Like, I'll just change my schedule. That's okay. You know, and I love that part. I love having the power to control my own time. That's what I meant. That took a long time to get to that point, but that's what I meant. Having the power to control your own time. I love that. Huge, huge pro for me. And time is something that you can't really get back no matter how much money you have. You can't get back yesterday. Doesn't matter how much money you have, right? Another pro is there is no ceiling of how much you can make as a reseller. In a 9-to-5 job, if you don't work on commission, you make your salary, right? That's it. You got to get promoted or get a promotion or a salary raise to make more money. But reselling, there is no ceiling, just how much you sell. There's a correlation between how much you work and how much you get back. Normally, not always, but normally there is. You know, are you on one platform selling or are you on 5? If you have 5, I would say you're going to make more money than just being on 1. Stuff like that. So again, it comes down to just work ethic and how hard you're working, but also work smarter, not harder kind of thing, because there's a difference between working a lot and getting nothing accomplished, and then working smarter and shorter, but being super productive and doing the right things, you know. A con about reselling full-time is that you're never off the clock. There is no clocking in and clocking out. There's simply not a clocking out button. Besides when you sleep, you're always clocked in. And by that, I mean, if I get an inquiry, whether it is 10 a.m., 3 p.m., or 11 p.m., and I see the message because I'm not sleeping, I will answer. I don't care what time it is. If I'm awake and I see the message, I will answer. Somebody needs measurements? No worries, I'll take it right now. So you're always just on call, I guess you could say. And I would say that's a con because you're never off. unless you make the decision to not answer inquiries, which I cannot. That would give me anxiety. I'm like, no. If I'm out, like I'm at the gym and then I get an inquiry like about, oh, how long's the inseam or whatever, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get the inseam. And then I get that like feel like, oh my gosh, if I wait, you know, this person might find another pair of pants that they purchased in the meantime, because time is very important, and your, what's it called, the response time is very important in reselling. The faster you respond, the more likely the buyer is to buy from you, because one, you're showing that you're a responsive seller, and two, they don't have time to find another item that they buy instead. Another con is a con in any job, but I just gotta mention it. There are boring parts about reselling. It's not just fun all the time. I will admit it. There's boring parts like packing. Oh, I think packing is so boring, especially at the end of the day. It's 11 p.m. I want to go to bed. I'm tired. And then you gotta pack. And it's like, that's an hour, another hour of packing, just putting stuff in a bag. And obviously, we need to do it. We gotta pack up our items and ship it up. And dropping off packages is also not fun. You know, so there's boring parts about reselling, just like any job, but it's gotta be done, if that makes sense. Another pro, so we're back to the pros now, is when you go thrifting. So this isn't really about being a reseller, but when you are a reseller, you go thrifting a lot, you may find items for yourself, which is called like a personal, and now you're getting really cheap items for yourself. I don't buy new clothes anymore. I will not buy something full retail price. No thank you, I'll find it when I'm out thrifting. Let's see. Yes, another big con is it kind of goes back to the unsteady flow of income, and that's dry days, even dry weeks. It's super unmotivating. It's not fun, and you start to just analyze everything you've done. Like, am I doing something differently now? Why am I not selling? How am I going to pay my bills? And you just get that fear of not making money, you know, and that's just a true part about reselling. It's that risk that you take. You don't know what you're going to make, and you will have slow days, no sales days, even weeks where you're so slow. Like, to take an example, last month, September, was our highest month yet of income. The highest. I made more that month than I did in my 9-to-5 job, right? This month, it just down the drain. We made like about half of what we did last month, and that's how it is. That's part of the reselling business. The last thing that I want to say is a big pro, and it's that thrifting's fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you don't think thrifting's fun, if you don't get that exciting feeling going into a thrift store, like not knowing what you're gonna find, and when you pick up something and you're really excited about an item, if you don't get that excited adrenaline feeling, it is not for you. You have to get excited about thrifting, because that's the fun part about being a reseller. It's thrifting. It's so fun to go thrifting. It's not fun to list it, right? So thrifting is fun. It's a lot of fun. You never know what you're gonna find, and it's kind of crazy what you can find at the price you find it too. Just baffles my mind what people throw back, or what people give up and donate. I'm like, wow, I wonder what the story is here, you know? But it doesn't matter what the story is. The only thing that matters is that I found it. I'm really gonna keep it and sell it. So yeah, thrifting's fun. And this video was way longer than I thought it was gonna be. I blabber a lot. But yeah, those were the pros. Those are the pros and the cons of being a reseller. I think I included everything. If not, I might make a part 2. If you guys have any questions about being a full-time reseller or a part-time reseller, because Will is a part-time reseller, he still has his 9-to-5 job. If you have any questions about how to balance a full-time job with reselling, or just how you make that conversion, or just being a full-time reseller, reseller, let me know in the comments. I'll answer as soon as I see it. And see you guys next time.